Here at the EM Hawaii office, it's our EM Educational Center. The demand for EM has grown in the islands. We found it very important that everyone has access to the latest EM information. Here at the office, we have many books on EM, both in English as well as Japanese. We also have many videos that people can come in, take their time and watch and learn more about this technology. Here at the office, we also have many posters on display and many projects that we have done here in the islands, and we also have projects that are done throughout the world. One example of the successful use of EM technology is the Hilton Hawaiian Village, which is noted for its museums, artwork, shops, and exotic wildlife. As a popular international conference center, this luxurious five-star resort is world famous. Located on the shores of Waikiki Beach and overlooking beautiful Diamond Head, the resort hotel hosts vacationers and others who wish to relax and enjoy the beauty of the Hawaiian Islands. Wendy Higashino is one of the wildlife coordinators who supports the use of EM technology.
My name is Wendy Higashino. I'm the wildlife assistant at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. The Hilton Hawaiian Village has many different species of birds. We have parrots and flamingos, we have ducks and swans, and we have a few wild birds that come in to our property too, because it's such a nice place to be. As a wildlife assistant, I will feed and clean and tend to all of these animals, their exhibits, which is very important. We need the exhibits to look, to smell, and just appear very clean. Okay. At the Hilton Hawaiian Village, our wildlife department uses EM in odor control, in helping to have grass grow in different parts, in different exhibits, lawns. Most effectively, we have had them spraying EM into our penguin exhibits to help in the odor control. Penguins, as you know, eat fish, so therefore there's a very distinct odor. And the EM has helped cut complaints by at least half. Many people are very sensitive to that types of smell. They come to a hotel, don't expect to have animal smells or so-called zoo smells. So that really helps us. We spray it twice a day at least, and it has helped us a lot. We have a lesser flamingo exhibit, which is a very popular exhibit. People use it a lot to have their pictures taken. But so that has been a problem, having the grass grow there and having it look pretty for the guests. So we had tried EM once a week. We finally found a dilution that works for us, and the grass is just growing wonderfully. They had to cut the grass last week, actually, never had to do that before. It has also helped us in odor control there. We have a tour desk that sits right next to this exhibit, and periodically, depending on the weather, they would complain about smells. And since my EM, no complaints. In our flamingo exhibit, we definitely feel that the effective microorganisms have done a wonderful job in creating a more lush environment. The grass is much thicker, much greener, and we have found that it's become a much more beautiful photography spot for our guests who come there many times a day to take their pictures. We have a number of macaws that we display on open perches. And by open perches, that means they're on open branches, they have no cage around them. So everything they eat and whatever fecal matter falls straight to the ground. And there, if it's not cleaned up properly, we have problems with mold, fungus, which can be very detrimental to a parrot's health. So we have started spraying EM along the bottom of that perch, and we have had much less smell. We have had no mold growing, and it's just a much healthier environment for all of our parrots. In our penguin exhibit, we have 8 African black-footed penguins. They are very happy here, as you can see, and they are a subtropical penguin. Many people don't associate penguins with warm weather, but actually, of the 17 species of penguins, the majority of them are warm weather penguins, and so they do very well here in Hawaii. In our penguin exhibit, we use effective microorganisms to help us control odor and to some degree even the staining of the bottom of the exhibit. So we do a hosing with regular water 2 to 3 times a day. After each hosing, we will spray EM all over the exhibit and the walls, and it does help us with the algae growth, with the smell. The effective microorganisms is a very safe product. We feel very good about using it for all of our animals. We have even tried it with penguins in their food source, which is fish. So we will soak the fish in a mixture of water and EM and actually feed it to the penguins to try also and curb these odors from the inside out. Previous to using effective microorganisms, we used another microbial compound that was not nearly as effective and also cost us a whole lot more. We weren't very pleased with the results. We didn't have a reduction in guest complaints about smells or any improvement in our exhibit design. So we got word from my husband, who works at the Honolulu Zoo, that they were trying a product called effective microorganisms, a compound which for them effectively reduced the problems in a very problematic exhibit, which was their hippo exhibit. The smells, the algae growth were all reduced very effectively, and it made for a much more pleasant environment.
The Honolulu Zoo, located in Waikiki, is home to hundreds of exotic birds and wildlife. Located in a park-like setting in the vicinity of hotels, shops, and high-rise buildings, it is surrounded by almost magical banyan trees. The zoo staff have discovered the application of EM, effective microorganisms, have improved their operations. The zoo's representative, Mr. Tommy Higashino, helped introduce the application of EM technology in 1997. He has also helped to introduce the many benefits of EM technology to other zoological gardens.
Here at the Honolulu Zoo, we get 560,000 visitors annually, and that's made up of residents, tourists, and a lot of school children as well. Here at the Honolulu Zoo, we have 42 acres and a little over 1,300 animals. We have rhinos, giraffe, zebras, and we do our best to maintain a high quality of life for all of our animals here. Our 2 young hippos are named Louise and Kiboko. They came from the Denver Zoo and the San Francisco Zoo. They spend their days in the pool, and we do our best to care for them. They spend all their time in the water treated with EM. We've had no ill effects of EM on the animals. It appears that they're in very good health and can be attributed to EM. A 44-year-old hippo, and we're kind of thinking that, you know, she was at the end of her life, but EM saved her life. She's very healthy, doing really well. Not sure we can attribute that to EM, but it is a factor that may possibly have increased her lifespan. 44 years old is extremely old for hippos, and she's still going strong, very healthy, eating well, gets her daily swims, and she'll probably live well beyond my career here. The EM has been extremely helpful in reducing algae growth. It's cut our manpower as far as cleaning pools by 50% at least, even more. During the summer, when there used to be algae blooms, we have had no algae blooms since we've been treating with EM. So it's definitely reduced man hours required to clean all of our large pools. We had a lot of filamentous algae in our what we call our clean water tank. We hold a reservoir of clean water, and as soon as we clean the pool, we release that water into the pool. And there's a constant flow of brackish water that we pump up from outside of the zoo to feed all of our large ponds here at the Karabuni Reserve. It's greatly reduced the filamentous algae growth in our clean water tank. We do refill our pools and clean our pools every day, our hippo pool, and we've greatly reduced the use of chemicals, namely chlorine, with the use of EM. We use it for odor control as well. As you can imagine, hippos produce a lot of manure, and there's smell associated with manure, but EM keeps the smell down, and we're very pleased with the results of EM in our composting program. It's reduced our composting almost by 50%, composting time by 50%. Previous to use of EM, we just used to leave the manure out and let it compost by itself, but bacteria in EM speeds up the process. So rather than 6 to 8 months, it now takes 3 to 4 months to get a good compost. We utilize it here at the zoo. We have a volunteer garden that uses a lot of it. We offer it to groups such as the University of Hawaii. Our botanic gardens as well utilize our compost. We have a stock solution of EM, and we use an injector system whereby the suction created by flowing water draws EM into the water, and then it's sprinkled over our compost pile. And composting needs several conditions, including sunlight and water. Water is a very important component of composting, so the EM added to the water greatly accelerates the breakdown of our organic material. We try to grow things here at the zoo that our animals can feed on, and banana trees are a favorite food for our elephants as well as our chimpanzees. So in the process of distributing the EM, it does also fertilize our plants that we utilize for animal food. We take the waste products from all of our hoofed animals and we stockpile it and treat it with EM. Benefits of turning compost into the soil include loosens heavy clay soils, aerates the rooting zone, improves water and nutrient holding capacity, improves soil conditions for earthworms and other microbes, provides some nutrients for plant growth, and it lessens soil compaction. And the benefits of mulching with compost include reducing moisture loss from the soil surface, helping control weeds, preventing soil temperatures from getting too hot or too cold, protects against erosion on sloped hills, prevents soil surface from crusting over and becoming hard, and it beautifies the planting area.
Other exhibits at the Honolulu Zoo using effective microorganisms include the flamingo exhibit and the aviary. The aviary is a unique exhibit where people can walk through the exhibit and enjoy seeing the birds flying around them freely. The EM is used to help maintain some of the small ponds in the exhibit, and it's used to wash down the waste that's found throughout the exhibit. This helps to create a healthier environment for the birds and the public. EM technology is being used throughout the islands, and it's being appreciated by those who have used it. As a major world visitor center, we will continue to educate local residents and visitors alike to the use of effective microorganisms and EM technology.
A 44-year-old hippo, and we're kind of thinking that, you know, she was at the end of her life, but EM saved her life. She's very healthy, doing really well. 44 years old is extremely old for hippos, and she's still going strong, very healthy, eating well, gets her daily swims, and she'll probably live well beyond my career here.